In Anderson tonight, former South Carolina Republican Governor and Congressman Mark Sanford still mulling, maybe running for the White House. In 2020, he sparked a lot of talk about this over the country once he kind of said this. He's been traveling around talking with advisors. Sanford says he's closer, though, to making a decision. And while the support for the Trump administration in the upstate was on full display this evening, Sanford says he believes he could be the answer the country needs to fix our economy.
Well, Fox Carolina's Matt Kaufax got some one-on-one time with a potential candidate, and Matt joins us live now with more on what's really pushing the former governor to 2020. Hi, Matt.
Right, exactly. Tori, Cody, we met with Mark Sanford just over here to my left, where it seemed like a massive crowd, that line seemed to go on forever, had gathered to see his potential current opponent, or his potential opponent in the future possibly, speak. Now, Sanford tells me that he has set a deadline for this weekend, Labor Day weekend, to decide whether he will run or challenge President Trump for the party's nomination. Now, just for perspective, the last time a sitting president lost his own party's nomination to a challenger was in 1852. So Sanford knows the odds are against him, especially with his controversial past. But he also says that economic issues the country is facing in 2019 are too big to ignore. Mark Sanford admits what he's considering doing is a little more than a tall order.
When you're talking about challenging a sitting president, given the history of this thing, that's pushing a rock uphill.
But he also says the U.S. economy is reaching a breaking point.
I think we're about to go into recession. I think the numbers are going to get really bloody. And from a job standpoint, it's going to get messy.
Sanford says his focus has always been on reducing the deficit. In the last few weeks, he's been traveling to see if others feel the same way.
Got to make a decision here shortly. I've basically given myself to in or around the Labor Day to decide. We can't wait another 4 years to have this debate.
He believes the Trump administration has failed to follow through on economic promises. But Monday, an endless line of people waiting to see the vice president seemed to suggest Sanford might be fighting a losing battle.
I'm under no delusions as to becoming president of the United States. But I do think you could serve a purpose in creating a conversation that needs to take place.
The former governor and congressman has been one of a handful of Republicans to speak out against President Trump's policies. And in Sanford's case, Trump has fired back.
Nobody relishes the idea of being a human piñata, but I relish even less the possibility of the American dream being that much more difficult for my 4 sons to achieve.
But he also knows some people might not care in light of his past.
The president has said there is nothing that he regrets. I regret many different things in my life, and 2009 being chief among them.
Sanford's infamous affair with a mistress in Argentina is a blemish on his political career, and he knows Trump could use that against him.
I'm going to take that thing with me to my grave. If I get into, I know that stuff's going to come up, yeah. But what I hope would be translated in that back and forth that would come with that are some of the lessons learned.
So he told me that, it really is still in play at this point, but that deadline is looming. He actually just completed a trip to New Hampshire, also tells me that he's going to Iowa later this week to see what his prospects look like there as well. But he also told me that the decision to run or not will ultimately come down to a final conversation that he's going to have with his 4 sons before Labor Day weekend is out. In Anderson, Matt Kaufax, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.